Pi network just exploded with 21,000 new apps and 37.7 million Pi tokens staked while everyone's distracted by price drops. If you're a pioneer losing hope because of recent volatility, this video will completely change your perspective on Pi's future. You know, while others are panicking about short-term price movements, something absolutely massive just happened that proves Pi's ecosystem is growing faster than anyone expected. Follow my Telegram and Facebook pages in the description for exclusive Pi updates I share there first. I'm about to reveal why these 21,000 apps and massive staking activity could be the game changer that transforms Pi network from speculation to real utility. You know, this development is so significant that I believe it will completely shift how the crypto world views Pi network moving forward. Okay, let me be brutally honest with you about what I think is happening here because this story is way bigger than most people realize. Pi network just achieved something that, in my opinion, completely changes the game. Over 21,000 applications are now live on the Pi platform. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Are these real apps or just fluff to pump up the numbers? You know, I had the same skeptical thoughts when I first heard about this. So I dug deeper into what these apps actually are and who's building them. Here's what absolutely amazed me. Over 34,800 pioneers built these applications without writing a single line of code. Think about that for a second. We're talking about regular people, probably just like you and me, who created 7,600 chatbot applications and 14,100 custom apps using Pi App Studio. In my experience following blockchain projects for years, this level of grassroots participation is incredibly rare. You know, most blockchain ecosystems struggle to get even professional developers interested, yet Pi has everyday users building real applications. I've personally tested some of these apps like PiTriz and Healthy Life, and while they are not going to win any awards for complexity, they prove that when you give people simple tools, they'll create things that matter to them. Now here's where my excitement really starts to build. And I think this might be the most underreported story in the Pi ecosystem right now. The ecosystem directory staking feature launched alongside these apps, and the community response has been absolutely incredible. Over 37.7 million Pi tokens were staked during the launch window. That's real Pi that people actually own being put at risk to support applications they believe in. You know, I've been tracking these numbers daily, and seeing over 25 million Pi still actively staked tells me something profound about community confidence that price charts simply can't capture. What really gets me excited about this staking mechanism is that it solves a problem I've seen plague so many other blockchain ecosystems. How do you separate quality applications from garbage without centralized control? In my opinion, this is brilliant because 1,450 applications received support from 16,700 unique users who literally put their money where their mouth is. You know, when someone stakes their valuable Pi tokens on an app, they're making a real economic decision about quality and utility, not just clicking a like button. But let's address the elephant in the room that I know is bothering so many of you, the price action. Pi dropped about 29% recently, fluctuating between 47 cents and $0.435, and I'll be honest with you, watching those red candles wasn't fun for anyone. You know, I get messages every day from pioneers asking if they should panic sell or if Pi is dead. Here's my take on this, and I want to be completely transparent with you. Short-term price movements in a closed mainnet ecosystem are often more about speculation than fundamentals. I think what we're seeing is actually healthy market behavior for a project in Pi's current phase. The fact that CoinMarketCap marks Pi's price as user-supplied with limited exchange data shows we're still in price discovery mode. You know, I've seen this pattern with other successful blockchain projects. The real value becomes apparent when the ecosystem utility catches up with the token economics. In Pi's case, I believe we're watching that utility being built in real time with these 21,000 applications. Here's my honest assessment of why I think this app development is more important than daily price fluctuations. When I look at other blockchain ecosystems, the biggest challenge is always adoption. Getting real people to use blockchain technology for actual purposes beyond speculation. What Pi has accomplished with over 21,000 user-generated applications addresses this challenge head-on. You know, these aren't just demo apps or proof of concepts, they're real applications built by community members to solve problems they care about. The transparency around app creation is something I really appreciate, even though it might seem like a limitation to some. Pi Network has been clear that they don't review or endorse community-built applications, which means users interact with them at their own risk. In my opinion, this is actually a strength because it promotes genuine decentralization. You know, the staking mechanism acts as a natural quality filter. People won't risk their Pi tokens on applications that don't provide real value, so the community becomes the curator. What excites me most about these developments is the timing. While other blockchain projects launch with empty ecosystems and hope developers will eventually show up, Pi is building the opposite way. Over 21,000 applications will already be ready to serve real users. Something that gives Pi a huge edge most people haven't fully recognized yet. The current price volatility, in my view, reflects the unique nature of Pi's closed mainnet, where traditional price discovery doesn't quite apply due to limited exchange access. This kind of uncertainty often comes before major adoption breakthroughs. What really stands out to me is how, despite the price dips, the community isn't backing down. Over 16,700 unique users have staked tokens to support apps they believe in. That's not just speculation, it's real, active participation. If this is helping you see Pi Network differently or giving you a bit of hope, go ahead and hit that like button. You know, your engagement helps me reach more pioneers who might be feeling discouraged right now, and I think this message of long-term thinking is something our community really needs to hear. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Which of these 21,000 applications interests you most, or do you think the staking mechanism will actually help identify quality apps? You know, some of my best insights come from the discussions we have in the comment section, so don't hold back on sharing your honest opinions, even if you disagree with my analysis. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because I'm planning to dive deeper into specific applications that are gaining traction and what I think this means for Pi's long-term value proposition. You know, there's so much happening in this space that one video barely scratches the surface, but I'm committed to helping you navigate these developments with honest analysis, not just hype. Here's my bottom line after analyzing all these developments. While everyone else is focused on daily price charts, Pi Network is quietly building something that could be revolutionary for blockchain adoption. With over 21,000 applications, millions of staked tokens, and genuine community participation, I believe Pi is positioning itself for long-term success in ways that most people simply aren't recognizing yet. You know, sometimes the best opportunities come when things look most uncertain on the surface. Stay tuned for my next video where I'll be testing some of these top-staked applications myself and sharing my honest reviews about which ones actually provide real utility. The Pi Network story is far from over, and I think the pioneers who understand what's really happening right now are going to be very glad they held on through these challenging times.